Good evening, Demon Phil here, and we are going to have a great interview this evening. As always, if you'll let me know if you can see and hear me, I'd appreciate that. And then we need to get this bad boy shared out. This is going to be an interesting and a fun one tonight. So let's go ahead and get that going on that. For those of you in the Facebook land who have seen what's been going on in the feed that I put on there, yeah, that kind of blew up a lot on there. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with a woot to everyone that's out there. Spell it however you want, but we're excited about this one. So yeah, we're gonna get going with this here very shortly. So I couldn't pass that one up. Scott, thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate you. And you can see and hear me. Great. Sorry that you can see me, but yeah, you can hear me. Sarah, thank you for being here. All right. And Scott follows up with a woot. Yeah, here we go. This is going to be fun now. All right. So let me give this, I'm going to give it about another minute or so. We're going to make sure we get everybody in here. So make sure and get this shared out. And then we'll get going. This is my last show from this state. This is my final show. I will no longer be a Jerseyan after tonight's show. As of Saturday morning, early morning, I am Georgia bound. So I will be in Georgia for the next show that will be coming up a week from today, actually. So this is kind of exciting, and I mean, it's exciting. I'm not sad by any means because the show is going to keep going on. I'm going to miss a week's worth of it, but there is someone who will be stepping in for Unscripted this Saturday, so you don't have to worry about that. So we're not missing a show on that one. All right, so it looks like we got a few more people that have showed up in here, and it looks like everybody's doing their parts. Let me go ahead and remove the banner. We're going to make this official. All right. Demon Phil here with another show tonight, and I have got everybody, if you've been paying attention to who I've got tonight, I've got the Art Assassin on here, and we're going to be talking to him here shortly. First off, I want to go ahead and thank my sponsors because I do have sponsors, and I am a little excited about that. So first off, of course, is Sub-Zero Mission. Everyone who knows me, Sub-Zero Mission is one of my more important ones that I really push. That's why it's my first one that I always push every single show, because it actually has the ability and the capability, and they do save lives. So in their area, they go out and they provide the necessary tools, whether it be coats, boots, sleeping bags, hats, gloves, whatever they need to survive the winter months for the homeless vets there. They do so and save as many as they possibly can. You can't save them all, but somebody's going ahead and doing something with this. So if you want to know more about this, reach out to me because I've got all the information you could possibly need, and there's a comic book that's tied to it as well. Yes. So definitely reach out to me and we'll get you that information. Next up, we have Totally Rad Comics, which has got Totally Rad Life of Violet #3 just finished up on Kickstarter and did very well. The next one that the Clown King Jim Noble has got going on is a Cave Woman comic. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Cave Woman comic that'll be coming out next month. So be ready for that one. Next up, we have Codex Entertainment. Codex Entertainment is Luis Torres. Luis Torres has got Lily the Demoness #4, which is currently on Kickstarter in its final week. And I'm going to go ahead and do a quick little shout out on this one because Luis and I conversed quite a bit back and forth. And he is at that meet and beat moment. He's about to break what he's done in past Kickstarters, and he's got a week to go and needs to get there. Can we get him to 24 to 25,000? He's at about 23,000 right now. A week to go? Oh, hell yes, we can. So Demon Phil is saying, hell yes, we can. We can. So we need to push and promote and move this thing around, get it shared out there, do every bit of supporting we possibly can. Next up, we have got Naughty Fairies. That is Wendy Steen Shaner and Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins, which ended on an extremely high note on Kickstarter, and she will be working on fulfillment on that very soon, and I am definitely looking forward to my stuff on that one. And knowing Wendy, she's not done, so keep your eyes and ears open because she'll be working on something else here very quickly. 183 Degree Studio, which is Kara Nicole, Alfred Trujillo. They had Fire Bitch and Confessions of a Cosplay Diva, and now officially the end of August we'll be seeing Fire Bitch 2 just in time for my birthday, so be looking for that one. Third Empire has got Blood of God still on Kickstarter right now, and it looks like we are green lit for a week from tonight. We will have the launch party for Mojo Rising. So I will keep you posted on that as soon as I know the definites and let you know there. And then finally, of course, we got our girl right over here in the top. We got Pantsless Pizza. I still have not revealed a whole bunch about all that right just yet. Once I get moved and the facelift starts happening with the show, oh yeah, reveals to come. So now that all of that is taken care of on there, you didn't come here just to see my pretty face on here, so we're going to go ahead and bring out the art assassin himself. Here is David Harrigan. What's
Hello,
up,
everybody? Hello,
welcome to the show.
Land. Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Now, before we get started on this, what I like to do is, if anybody's in here and they don't know who you are, if you'll go ahead and just tell everybody who you are, what you do, and where to find you.
Well, my name is David Harrigan. I am a comic book artist. I've been dabbling in the comic book world for about the past 10 years. It really kind of started off as a kind of like a side gig kind of hobby, if you want to hobby. There we go. I got to get the camera right. No. Hi, Scott. Hi, Lewis. Hi, Sarah. I'm seeing all the things pop up.
Oh, yeah.
So it started off just kind of like I've always wanted to work in comics since I was a kid. I mean, picking up my old, the old X-Men series with Chris Claremont and, Punisher and Wolverine and all those old, comics from the, late 70s, early 80s. And I knew that's what I really wanted to do. And, but it's kind of a long side story, and I won't bore you with it, but never thought I would actually get to work in comics, and actually found my big break about 10 years ago or so, and it's been, just a big roller coaster ride from there. So I've worked on my main company I work for is Coffin Comics. You can see the shirt that he's wearing over here. Who publishes Lady Death, La Muerta, Hell Witch, Zack the Zombie Exterminator. And so that's the main company I work for, but I also have done stuff for titles like Zombie Tramp, Vamp Blade, some of the titles that you just mentioned before the show, Naughty Fairy Stripper Assassins, Fire Bitch. I mean, there's been a ton that I've actually worked on over the years. I just finished my first Vampirella cover, and it's up for pre-sale right now on portcitycomics.com. I finished up a few titles for Cave Woman by Bud Root's book, waiting for those to be released, and I've got a few top secret projects working on right now that I can't talk about. So yeah, I've been pretty busy.
There's always those top secret projects that you can't talk about. I know how that is.
That's most of mine, unfortunately.
Now, let me ask you, how did you get your start in the comics? I mean, what actually kind of steamrolled you directly into where you are now?
Are you talking about from what was the door that opened for me?
Correct.
That kind of thing? Well, the very, 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 very first published piece I had was in Gold Digger, the old Antarctic Press comic book, Fred Perry. I had a couple of pinups published in there. And that was like technically my first published piece. And then there was another one, Jason Martin, who works at Action Labs. He had a book called Super Real, and I did a pinup for that. And then it was just pretty much stagnant after that. And so I was able to get a variant cover done as a convention exclusive for Xenoscope's Grim Fairy Tales. And that's kind of started the ball rolling a little bit better. But the first real major break was with Brian Pulido and Lady Death. Actually, I have my first Lady Death comic here.
Oh, I'm
And this is the
first on this one.
Yank, yank, yank. Yeah, this is the first Lady Death I ever did, and this was an Albuquerque Comic Con exclusive, and that really kind of was the beginning of it. And I owe pretty much my entire artistic existence, comic book existence, to Brian Pulido and to Jim Burleson from Albuquerque Comic Con, because he was the one who told Brian, he's like, I want this guy to do an exclusive cover for me for the show, and that's hey Lewis, and that's what started it. And so me and Brian, have been kind of working together ever since then, and this was about a good 10 years ago or so, 9 or 10 years ago.
Yeah, he tends to. I've noticed he tends to keep a lot of the artists that he starts off with in there, and then adds new fresh people that he can in there. But he still goes ahead and keeps y'all going with this, which I love, because things that you see 10 years ago, you're still seeing art today and the newer stuff that you can see the evolution in the art, which is amazing, especially within the Lady Death thing.
Well, I always call Brian my Yoda, because he has such an amazing eye for artwork, what works, what doesn't work. And I remember several times working with him early on in the process and everything. And I mean, he would really just focus in on exactly what was wrong with the piece, what needed to be changed. And it was just like, if I was a younger artist and everything, it might have been kind of really jarring for me, but getting the opportunity to work on a comic book that I was a fan of since the 90s, I was like, I ain't gonna, you are the master. I will do whatever it is that you want. And so I took his advice, and and I learned a bunch of new stuff from him. I mean, and if you could see, I mean, I can show you. I mean, this is like the first Lady Death I did, and then here's like a more recent one. This was the Princess Leia one, and I think that the difference is night and day. I mean, he really helped me grow as an artist, and
well, that's the thing, is it's nice to see the evolution in the artwork. I mean, it's not taking away anything from your style, from anything like. It's just, you can see, and it's any artist at that too, but it is, especially with Lady Death, you can really see, like you said, where Brian will go ahead and pinpoint and say, let's do this. Let's go ahead and push this envelope a little bit more with what you can do. And then you can really start seeing that evolution pushing forward straight through the Lady Death. And I've seen that with yours as well.
Yeah. And for me personally, because everybody's got their own style and taste of what they like about Lady Death. And, I am, oh, look, a comment just popped up on the screen. That's freaky. Hi, David. Another David. Hi, Scott. So, like, for me personally, I'm like a total old school, Chaos Comics Lady Death fan. I mean, Stephen Hughes, Ivan Reis. I mean, these are the ones that I really enjoyed reading. So I try and take the spirit of their artwork and use it in mine. Try, capture what made them so unique, and try and roll it over into my style for Lady Death. And Lady Death has she's got a very distinctive way that she looks. I'm not talking about the boobs. I'm just talking about like her face. There's a very specific way that, I mean, you could even just put her picture of her face in black and white, and everybody knows who that is. She has a very distinctive face. So, like I said, I really try and capture the old school artists, and not to discount any of the new school artists or anything at all whatsoever. I mean, but that's just my own personal preference, because I loved Hughes, and he was the original.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, I usually don't ask questions that are personal to that I want to know the answer to, but I want to know the answer to this one. Is how did you come up with the nickname Art Assassin?
Okay, so a long time ago, back when the Earth cooled and then the dinosaurs came, before I was even remotely starting to get back into comic books and drawing, there was a period of time where I gave up on, trying to break into comic books and art. And so I got my degree in photography. Hi, Wendy. Got my degree in photography, and I spent time as a professional photographer. And I worked for a studio, and I also did a bunch of freelancing on the side. And so me and a bunch of my friends who were photographers, we were trying to come up with cool, hip, clever names for ourselves. And so I came up with the name of Photo Assassin with the tagline, "If looks could kill." Stuff like that. So that's kind of like where that kind of thing started. And then I started drawing again. The internet was really, picking up, and people were having all these. There was like a couple of guys there's a video game series called Dead or Alive, which I was a big fan of. And there's a couple of guys had fan pages for Dead or Alive, and they're always asking for people to submit artwork. And I was like, hey, I can draw a little bit. And so I would do a couple of drawings and I would send it to them, and they were like, oh, this is really cool. But you need like a special name. You can't just have your name. You have to have like some pseudonym or something. And I was like, Art Assassin. And literally that's what it was. And then it just stuck from there. I mean, the only change over the past 19, 20 years or so, let's see, it was 2000 when I started it, 2001. So 19, 20 years was that it used to be Art Assassin, 2 words, and then it just jumbled into Art Assassin. So that's where it started, and it just stuck. I mean, there was a period of time, I think about 15 years or so ago, I thought about changing it, but everybody was like, nah, it's, it's not broke, don't fix it, just let it go.
Oh yeah, I mean, it fits. I mean, it's one of those things that you have that persona. That's why I was wondering exactly where that kind of came from. But the whole looks that kill, yeah, that works.
Yeah, and then just tacking the art instead of photo was just a complete like half-assed lazy thing for me to do. But I never expected to actually stick. It just was like, I just need a name right now here.
Now, I usually ask my guests what kind of comics have influenced their work and things like that. I want to kind of switch that up tonight and ask you what kind of movies, TV shows, that kind of things actually influence your artwork.
Wow. That's actually kind of a hard question to answer. Mainly because, especially nowadays, I don't really watch a whole lot because I'm just busy all the time. But I mean, there, in a general, speaking, I mean, I love Star Wars. I think I've decided I'm more of a Star Trek fan than a Star Wars fan. I really just started rewatching some Star Trek stuff over the pandemic period, the quarantine, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot how much I love this stuff. So usually the geek staples, I like the Marvel movies. I'm a huge Batman fan, and you can't see it here, but anybody who's seen my other live stream show, you can see part of it. I have a large mural on the wall of Batman that I painted and villains, and I have like drawings and autographs and props and crap, and I actually have a full-size bat suit in my day job office, which I haven't been able to return to since March. So a huge Batman fan. I love not so much anymore, but I used to watch a lot of anime too, and that was probably the biggest influence for me, was a lot of anime shows. But I just haven't had as much time lately to watch a lot of anime.
It makes sense with that. So, but the one thing that I want to kind of bring up going off of that though, so what you're saying is your day job back in March, you were Batman?
No one's supposed to know. No one's supposed to know that. The bat suit on. Maybe for one of these days, maybe I will put the bat suit on for my show. And the thing weighs like 75 pounds. It's the one that they put out for it's the officially licensed one that they made like 2,000 of back when the Dark Knight Returns came out. My
Mhm.
wife got it for me as a Christmas gift, and I was like, "Oh, this is freaking awesome!" It's got like Kevlar paneling in it. It's awesome, but it's heavy and it's hot.
Oh, I'm sure it is. But you can take a gunshot, though, right?
Not a gunshot, but I could probably take a knife strike. There was actually, I used to, we would dress up locally, and there was one time we would go visit some charities. And so I dressed up with that, and there was another girl here who dressed as Power Girl, and we went to one of the children's hospitals in July. And this is in New Mexico for everybody who doesn't know where I'm from. So New Mexico in July, and I'm wearing a 75-pound leather suit. And about halfway through this, there are a couple of the kids that I had sweat pouring out of my eye holes. And the kids were like, why is Batman crying? It's like, Batman's just real sad right now, Anyway, back to it.
Wendy said that you don't have any time because you've been drawing naughty fairies.
Yes, naughty fairies. She's been keeping me busy. Ben's been keeping me busy. I was trying to plan my month of August, and I don't think I get a break until like September. So I've got planning for the con, and then I've got a Polito project, and then I've got a something for Big Dog Inc., and then a new one that I haven't done anything for before, the Vampires of New Jersey. I'm going to be doing something for that. So it's like this whole month of August is going to be just a whirlwind, and before I know it, it'll be over.
Very true. I mean, it'll move along pretty quick on that. And I know you're saying that, September you should have some time, but now that you said that out loud on here, that's probably going to change.
Yeah, I don't seem to. I'm really very fortunate. I'm at that point in my career now where I don't have to ask people for work. And that's probably one of the biggest, blessings that an artist can hope for. There's not having to ask for work, somebody getting your artwork tattooed on their body, somebody dressing up as one of your characters. These all just amazing, things that artists strive for, including myself.
Absolutely. Now, you had mentioned earlier about, you couldn't go back to your day job since March. I want to kind of tie into that, because how much have you found the importance of being on social media now that we haven't been able to have all the cons and the physical, person-to-person contact with all of this?
Yeah, it's so as I've talked to, I see Steph Wilson in the comments over here, and I've kind of talked about with him a little bit that I'm terrible at social media, and it's mainly because doing a day job and then come home and then doing the art gig, and then trying to find a way to put in social media as well as time with the family and getting things done around the house, and even just having time to breathe. But the one thing I know that's helped is, at least for me, is the little Friday night show that I do, a little live stream show like this. That has been, I think, just so helpful for me to actually connect with people socially online. I think it's fun for me to do. I love doing it, and I love talking to people. And I see a lot of the same people who are in the little comment section now that I see on my live stream show, and it's fantastic to see them every week. And it's so that's I think that's where something I'm really having a good time with. The normal social media stuff is, I'm lost on it. I post stuff and I don't know if it goes into the cloud or it actually shows up anywhere. I don't know. It's all magic to me. Low power. Are you calling me low power, Steph? Yeesh.
No. Perry said it's the Demon Phil Power Hour, and Steph said low power. I saw it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Double A battery top.
They almost act as if whenever I get on their shows, I mess with them on the side. I never do that.
Oh, they are good about ball busting. It's almost they're the kings of online comment ball busting. It's so
Exactly.
wouldn't have it any other way.
Oh no, not at all. If they were quiet, I would think that they were upset with me for whatever reason. Yeah, they're never quiet. So you mentioned about your live show with that going on, and that happens on Fridays, and you get on there, and I've been on several of those that you have. And it's interesting because you'll be going along and you'll be drawing, and all of a sudden you'll just come up with a topic, and we'll pull you off topic, should I say? And we all just kind of talk and have a good time on there while you're drawing and doing your work. But do you see that has increased your social media presence by doing the live show on a regular basis with the Fridays on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've noticed a lot, especially a lot more on Facebook. A lot of new friend requests that aren't, Russian bots and porn bots and things like that. But a lot of new friend requests and a lot more conversations from people, messages from people about stuff, and so yeah, I think it totally has. I think, and like I said, I mean, I'm more of a personal kind of person. Like I love conventions because I get to see people and I get to talk to people one-on-one, and this is like the next best thing for me. So it's a way for me to actually kind of get out and talk and have conversations. I mean, and like we go off topic. We talk about old movies. We talk about music. We talk about, just random goofy crap. And that's kind of like how it is for me at a convention. I mean, we sit there and we chat and we talk about, the movie we watched, and then we talk about, bad jokes, and just so it's like a little mini con. It's a little conlet. It's a conlet, little con, in a box.
You have to do what you can nowadays to go ahead and get that con experience going again. And that's why we're leading into our next thing here, which is Art Assassin Con.
That's right. I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I, since everything's pretty much been canceled this year, I was like, you know what? I need to do something to do like a little online con, just so I can, get some new stuff out to people and, see some people who I don't normally see all the time. And so I was thinking about, well, I could do the little live show thing, but let's try and do something just a little bit more. And decided to have just a little Art Assassin Con. And so the thought kind of started with that. And then I was like, oh, I can do some exclusive stuff. I can do, and the thought kind of moved into making it almost like a mini Kickstarter without it being a Kickstarter. So I have no idea if this is going to work at all. I mean, who knows, but I figure we'll just give it a shot. So the whole idea is that the convention starts on July 31st and then goes all through to August 7th. But I'm not going to be live the entire time. I'm just going to be live on the 31st for like 2 hours. But everything's going to be on sale throughout that time. And I have like a goal that I want to hit. And if I go over those goals, just like, Kickstarters, stretch goals, there's going to be extra things that people are going to get for free if they order during that time frame. So
Steph wants to know cosplayers.
Who do I have as that's a long question there.
It's Steph. You can't expect much.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to think there. Are you talking about cosplayers who are going to be cosplaying as my stuff?
I do not know on that.
I don't know. Or who is my favorite cosplayer? Or please, Steph, clarify. Need clarification on your question. You may be trying to lead into one of the exclusives for
Probably.
Artists and
Probably so.
Yeah.
Now, with this, you said it's going to be a week long, and it's going to be different sales each day, or how is that going to work?
So what's going to happen is the first night, July 31st, which is Friday, which is this Friday. Holy crap, it's right around the corner. At 8 o'clock Mountain Time, I'm going to go online, do my little show, do my Art Assassin Con, and that's when everything will go on sale. And so the sale, so all the new exclusive items are going to be put into the store, and they'll be available throughout the week until August 7th. And then I will take everything down after that. Well, not everything, but the exclusives will be taken down. But I'm going to have, I've been hoarding a lot of Lady Death prints that I've done that I have not put up on there before. I'm going to throw those up there. I have 4 exclusive comics that I'm going to be doing. One of my own personal titles that I've done that I've been working on for the past few years is a title called Bestiary. And it's, let's see if I can find it here. There we go. So here's a safe for work version here. This is one, this was a summer edition I did last year. It was called Summer of the Sea Witch. And so what this is it's a collection of pinups and stories, and it's all about this cryptozoologist, Dudley J. Higginbotham, and his encounters with different monster girls. And he chronicles his encounters. And so they're all kind of like photographs that he's kind of put in his little book, and he's written about them.
Nice.
And so it comes in a regular, a naughty, and a nice version. So this is the nice version, and then the naughty version, they're all like naked and stuff on the inside. They're all naughty. But the idea behind the project was that I wanted to do something different with pinups, and rather than just do like normal, pretty, sexy traditional girl pinups, I want to explore different, body types, different ethnicities, different genders, sexual identities, that kind of thing, in the hopes that I can make something where everybody feels included. So, like, for example, let's see if I can find one in here real quick. So, okay, so this one I did. It's hard to see there, but she's a little more curvy. She's got some stomach going on. She's not a wife or thin. And then I did one of a genie here, and tried to capture more of a Middle Eastern kind of
nice
likeness and everything. But so rather than me trying to ad-lib this crap, I'll read to you in the back of the book what it's about. So what is the Bestiary? Sure, it is an ongoing exploration and experiment in what is considered sexy, alluring, attractive, and sometimes titillating, all wrapped up in a fantastical ribbon of mythical beasts and urban legends, a collection of different creatures, monsters, and things that go bump in the night, but also an exploration of what defines beauty, sexiness, gender, and whether or not there is even a need for a definition. As the project progresses, the creatures will range from funky to sexy to scary to funny, but also you will find different body types, genders, races, identities, and more, in the hopes that there will be something for everyone, and show that no matter what we look like, we are all beautiful monsters living together in this world.
Very cool. Now, Dan is asking, and I was kind of wondering too, how many are there of this, or is that the first one?
So, excellent question. So, there's only one issue right now. I'm working on the second issue. What I have done in the past is I've made very small print run editions. So like this was only 25. There's usually 25 of each print run. And I would do them for like special occasions. Like I did one for Fiend Fest. I did a St. Patrick's Day version. So I'm glad he brought this up because the editions that I'm having for Art Assassin Con are going to be the last editions of #1 that I'm going to print up. So, and they're not going to be limited to 25. It's just going to be however many orders I get during the convention period. So if it's 5, it'll be limited 1 to 5. If it's 100, it'll be 1 to 100. But after August 7th, I'm putting issue 1 to bed, and we'll be focusing on issue 2.
Very nice. Then I definitely want to get a hold of that because that looks interesting, very much so. And Wendy even said, love it, which is absolutely true.
Thank you, Wendy.
Steph had a comment too, things that go bump, giggity. Yeah, that.
All right. Giggity, giggity. So, and then just to kind of segue in a little bit more to the exclusives for the convention. So I'm super duper excited about this, and I've kept it under wraps for a long time until I could finally felt like it was a good time to announce it. I think I announced it a week or so ago. So I have 2 guest artist editions of Bestiary #1. I've never had a guest artist do any kind of cover for these. The first cover is a cosplay cover done by Holly Rebel, and she contacted me, and she was really inspired by my Death Sprite character, this one here.
Oh,
and
nice.
She wanted to cosplay it as it, and so she did just all on her own cosplay this Death Sprite, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Do you mind if I use it for a guest edition cover? And so we came to an agreement, and so that's one of the that'll be on the nice edition, guest edition, and then on the Steph is already talking about it for the naughty edition. I'm super duper excited about. I have one of my favorite Japanese artists. I was able to contact him, and I got him to do a cover for the naughty edition. And for those people who are anime fans, there's an anime series called Queen's Blade, and he was one of the artists who designed a lot of the characters for Queen's Blade. His name's FS, is what he goes by.
Nice.
And he's designed a bunch of characters for this Queen's Blade series, and I've been a huge fan of his for a while. I think his artwork and his coloring is just spectacular. So I managed to contact him, and he agreed, and I hired him to do a cover for the naughty edition. And it is his first work for an American title, which I think I'm so excited about. So not only do I get him to do one for me, but then it's also his first American work. So that's really exciting. And then I'm also, because I feel like if I'm doing the last issue #1, I need to do one myself. So I'm going to be doing an instant edition on the show. And for those of you who aren't familiar with instant editions, it's basically I'm going to start drawing it on the show on the 31st, and I'll be coloring it throughout the week, and hopefully have the finished colored version by the 7th, so everybody can see it. And it'll be a naughty and nice edition also, so there'll be a closed version and a naughty version where the naughty bits are showing and they're flaunting and bouncing around.
Very cool. Now, you had something that you wanted to show as well, correct?
Yeah, those are the covers I was just talking about. So
okay, so let me go ahead and bring that up so you can show that. So there's the first one. This is the nice one, correct?
This is the cosplay cover, which is done by Holly Rebel. I've known Holly for many, many, many years, and she is awesome. She's a world-known burlesque dancer, and just super, super nice, super talented. She's really well known for kind of an androgynous kind of cosplays that she does that are absolutely fantastic. You have to check her out. So that is the nice edition that she did, and then here is the naughty edition. Now this is the naughty edition is of course censored for public viewing, but when you get the actual cover, it will not have the black bar on it. The black bar will not be there. But this is the artwork that FS did for me and this is the sea monster character, which is in. Let me see if I can find it. These are all in numerical order. They all have numbers. Oh, here she is. So this is the.
Wendy said she rocked it. I agree. Which one is it? Show it again.
Oh,
did you?
This one
sorry,
here.
I'm giving you full screen on it.
That one there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then the ultimate idea, once I have enough of these bestiary characters done, is that I want to do like a trading card game, like an adult Pokemon. That's kind of the end game. Amazeballs. Oh, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, they are very cool. I definitely want to get a hold of that book whenever it comes out as well. So I'll be on this anyway. I know I'm moving and everything, but I'm not missing. So I'll be getting on there.
Thank you, sir.
And let me see. So we've got, your Art Assassin Con, again, it goes on for a week. And once it's done, that first bestiary is done, gone.
Yeah.
You can't get it anymore because number 2 will be coming out. Whenever number 2 comes out, you're probably going to have something where you can go back and get number 1 with it at that time or whatever. But for the time being, it's going to be put away.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if I'm going to do a reprint of number 1 when number 2 comes out, because I feel like I've kind of milked the number 1 as long enough. But probably in the future, I can see when I get enough issues done, I'll put out. I really, really want to put out like a nice collected edition, leather bound, kind of like how I did on the back. So you can kind of see my vision here.
Oh,
so
nice.
A leather bound, like the book, like a book you would see, and make it real aged looking. And but I want to get enough of these individual issues done, and then I'll collect them into a nice like leather book. That's the end goal. Well, one of the end goals.
I think that your idea about the adult Pokemon is going over well because Wendy says we need them. Russell said, got to grab them all, boo them on. I can see when we do commercials. I can just already see that. And then, of course, Steph had to throw a giggity in there. So,
of course, Pokemon. Yes. Yeah, it was an idea I had, and basically for the past few years, I've been trying to write the rules down and how it's going to work. And the main idea behind it is like a Pokemon / almost like drinking party game, like kind of like Pokemon Cards Against Humanity, beer pong. I mean, like just a really bizarre thing I just came up with. So like I said, foreshadowing here. So in the back of the issue, I started kind of like putting together the creature legend, and you can see, what their allegiances are and everything. So you can see kind of like where my brain was going when I was working on it.
It does. I mean, it looks very cool to go ahead and go with that, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Bestiary 1 and 2 whenever that comes out and being able to do that. So again, Art Assassin Con starting Friday, and you want to jump in on this as soon as possible to make sure that you do not miss out, because the 7th will get here before you know it.
Well, and I'm glad you said something because it reminded me. I'm also going to have a freebie kind of incentive for people who purchase something on the 31st, the night of the show. So I'm going to throw in a little kind of bonus special thing, which I'll probably talk about it more once the show starts. But Wendy knows what it is. We've been kind of talking about it. Wendy's been like, as far as like doing this kind of stuff, Wendy's been my Yoda in that realm, because every time I'm stuck on something, I'm like, Wendy, I don't know how to do this. And so she'll she'll get on the Facebook and tell me to stop being such a pansy. You know, so.
And real quick, because I see it over here, I'm going to go ahead and address this. Thank you, Steph, for the compliment, and yeah, for a Texan. Yes, thank you.
Ouch. Damn, Steph, why does everything always have to have like some kind of conditional praise there, man?
Y'all know I do a good job on here. Y'all.
Y'all.
Now,
I'm from New Mexico. We get our y'alls here, so.
Oh, yeah. Now, what kind of, that you can talk about, of course, what current projects are you working on that you can talk about? Not much, I'm sure.
So there's one that I'm desperately trying to finish before the con. I can't talk about it, but I'm really super excited about it. It's a title I've never worked on. I don't want to say like a high profile title, but yeah, I can't really say too much about it, but I'm super jazzed about it, and I really have to finish that before Art Assassin Con starts. And then there's going to be something for Coffin Comics I got coming up. The Vampires of New Jersey. There is the Tom Hutchinson has a project that I'm going to be doing some stuff for also, which I don't know if he wants me to talk about it all or not.
Knowing
So
Tom,
I'm going to keep it quiet in there. That is what I'm working on for the foreseeable future, at least for the next month or so. I'm trying to think about, what is this Tune in Tokyo stuff?
You just got to shush from Wendy.
Yes, yeah.
Now, I will say, I know we can talk about this, is you just had your Vampirella cover, because
yes.
Russell is incredibly excited being a Vampirella fan over there, so he's already posted the link and all in the comments. Thank you for
Russell.
doing that, Russ.
Thank you.
But yeah, you did that, and I've seen the cover, and it came out very well. It looks pretty badass. So what made you decide to go ahead and do the Vampirella cover?
So I have, as an artist, there's like a bucket list of things I've always wanted to do and work on. And one of those bucket list items is I want to be able to say I've drawn covers for all the 90s bad girls. So, Lady Death, I already got that covered. I was able to do a She cover a year or so ago. So I needed to do a Vampirella. And my own interactions with Dynamite were, I've never really gotten anywhere with them. And it just kind of like was random. I was talking with somebody else, I can't remember who it was, on Facebook in a feed, and we're talking about Dynamite covers and Vampirella, and I was like, oh man, I would love to do. I've been trying to do one just so I can mark it up my bucket list. And then Steve Hyatt from Port City Comics was in the feed, and he was like, oh, I can make that happen. And so he just messaged me, and I was like, oh man, this would be awesome if you could do this. And so he kind of put the gears into action, and yeah, before I knew it, we finished it up. They approved it, and it's for issue number 13, which comes out in September. And I was expecting, not to be able to say anything until then. And then Steve just messaged me. He's like, yep, it's up for pre-order right now. So I was like, sweet. So yeah, if you want one, go get it now.
Very
Rule
cool.
number one about BDI projects: don't talk about BDI projects.
Yeah. That is the truth, Scott.
I try not to talk about stuff unless I get express permission from people to do so. Like I don't even post like works in progress on things anymore, because I'm like, I just don't feel like it's my place to say what I'm working on. I leave it for the publisher to make their announcement and say, this is what we're going to do. This is when it's coming out, and here it is. And then I'll come on the coattails and say, yay, I did that.
Now, you've worked with Dynamite now doing the Vampirella. You said that was on your bucket list, so that kind of leads into my other question here: is out of all the different things that you've worked on and people you've worked with and all, who would you like to do either as a character or work with as an artist or something like that on a collaboration?
Man, so work in a collaboration sense. So here's something that I guess I'll go ahead and talk about it. I don't know when and if this will ever happen, but me and Andy Kuhn of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Fire Breather fame, we have talked in the past about, hey Sean, about collaborating on something together, where I would do like the writing and then the drawing, and then he would like ink it and add his magic to it. And it actually, we got a concept nailed down and character designs, and then I just got swamped with work, and he got swamped with work. And that's the thing, is about like with personal projects, for me, always get put on the back burner, and I'll just like work on them when I have time. Like for example, the only new print I've done for myself in 2020, I've only done one so far, and that will be available at Artisan Con.
And that's where you want to go ahead and grab a hold of that, because it's kind of like year exclusive.
It might be, yeah, it's a year exclusive. That's right, man. It's 2020 COVID. Yeah, jeez. But I think I would love to do. Like I said, I'm a big Batman fan. I seriously doubt that DC would touch me with a 10-foot pole. But if I ever got the chance, I would love to do like a Harley Quinn or cover, just because I'm a big Batman fan. I think that would be really cool. I promise I would tone down the breasts for that.
Oh, so you're never going to get it now. You got to tone them up.
No, mine are pretty obnoxious, so I would definitely have to tone them down. Gosh, it's an interesting question. I mean, I've done a lot of things I've really always wanted to do, and I think really now it's, and I'm sure that Steph will give me a hard time about this, but I think I really want to start focusing on some personal projects. And there's one that I've been writing and rewriting for about a good 12 years. And I just know I don't have time to draw it because I'm doing everybody else's stuff. So right. He was telling me, he's like, you should just break down and hire an artist to do it. And I'm like, okay. But then, pandemic happened, and I'm like, well, kind of need to hold on to my money right now. But I think that's probably the big thing that I would. Yep, there you go, Steph. Yeah. I really would want to focus on now is something for myself. I mean, Bestiary is cool and I have fun with it, but it's not really a comic book. It's more like a story with non-sequential, stuff. But I need. Oh, Wendy likes my boobs. But doing like an actual like comic book story, I think will probably be my next thing that I would want to knock off the bucket list. So I just haven't really put any feelers out for artists, because unfortunately I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I'm sure it's going to be like a pain in the ass to find. And the people I want to do it, I'm sure, are too busy or too expensive. So.
Well, I know that it always ends up in the comments over there. So before Steph puts it out there, he knows a guy, because he's going to end up putting it out there eventually.
Steph knows everybody. Steph is like a machine. I don't even think he's real. I think Steph is like actually like 15 people, and they all like outsource all the work together, and it's actually just one person.
I've met Steph and Carrie in person before all of this hit that we weren't able to do anything anymore. So I do know that he is real and everything. I just don't know that with his work and everything. I think there's got to be a little sweatshop thing going on or something that he's got people working on it.
Steph's back there cracking the whip on him. Oh, draw them bigger. Draw them bigger.
Now, we kind of touched on the con thing, so I want to go ahead and bring that up because what have been some of your most memorable con moments that you know?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. Okay. I have, obviously, Fiend Fest, which was last year. Time's kind of like weird for me right now, but that overall was just absolutely amazing experience for me. That was like the first time I think at a convention I ever felt like a rock star. You know, that was, I will never ever forget that convention as long as I live. I don't know if anything will ever compare to that. So that being said, fun convention experiences. One of the ones that really stands out is Steph is the Borg. It was Phoenix Comic-Con several years ago, back before I really started, getting geared up on Lady Death. I was actually on a panel with like Mike DeBalfo, Alfred Trujillo, Jen Mall, and Frank Cho, and Armand Villaver. There might have been somebody else on there, but Frank Cho was on there. And so I remember just sitting on this panel at Phoenix Comic-Con, and I'm like, one of these things is not like the others. One of these things doesn't belong. But it was such an amazing experience. And I will never forget, Frank Cho paid me a huge compliment. I had brought up some prints, and I was just showing them off. And at the end, I was giving them to people. I was just, because I like to do that. And he looked at one of them and he said, "You guys," the panel was on how to draw sexy women. And he's like, "You want to know how to draw sexy women?" And he pointed to it and he's like, "That's how you draw sexy women." And I was like, holy crap. I mean, that was like, the Pope, just coming, into your house and blessing you. It was like an amazing experience. Having celebrity moments are also kind of cool. Especially, if you ones that are, super awesome to you. One other con moment that really kind of blew my mind. This was like really early on in my career. I had this guy come up to my table. It was like an animation con, real kind of small thing. And he was looking through my stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I know who you are." He was an older guy. He's like, "Yeah, you can do really good stuff. I really enjoy your work and everything." And then he's like, "Oh, I got to go there," and calling me to a panel. He's like, "But by the way, it's nice to meet you. I'm Ralph Bakshi." And that kind of blew my mind because I was like, "Shit, Ralph Bakshi's heard of me." Anytime that you have like a big name artist or celebrity person like that knows who you are, that floors me. I think Tim Seeley did that to me one time when I introduced myself to him. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I know who you are." It's like, shit, hopefully you heard his good stuff.
Now, Steph asked a question that I want to go ahead and bring up because he wants to know who you fangirl over.
Celebrity-wise? Oh, man.
It can be celebrity or it can be artists, because I know with Steph, I know his artist that he fangirls over something fierce.
Who is it?
Steph's?
Yeah.
Is Bill McKay.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Bill's a cool guy. He's a funny dude. Hopefully Bill knows that. Let's see. Wow, artists that. Okay, so I fangirled over Bruce Timm until I met him. That was a bad experience. Amanda Connor, I love her. I think she's not only is she's an amazing artist, but she's just an amazing person. God, there's so many that I just adore. Niai Rufino is an absolute just sweetheart. I love her. Gosh. Yeah, now that I'm put on the spot, I mean, like, Adam Hughes, another Frank Cho. Frank Cho is probably one of the ones that Bud Root.
Yeah.
Those are all guys that I just admire and look up to. Celebrity-wise, I love Stephen Amell. He he actually commented out of the blue on one of my Facebook posts one time, and I was like, "What the hell?" Okay, glad I'm on your radar, But I thought that was pretty cool of him. Patrick Stewart. I mean, I've never met him, but I've always wanted to. Gosh, Elvira. I finally got to meet Elvira a couple of years ago. That was on my bucket list of people, who really inspired me to in making me what I am today. Drawing, these curvaceous, sexy, funny things. So she was a bucket list of people to meet, and I met her, and she was just an absolute dream.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then you see where Steph put on there, Bill McKay, Nei, and Ebass are his three.
Yeah, Nei is a sweetheart. I've only had a very quick meeting with Ebass, so I can't say one thing or another about him. But Bill McKay is a funny dude. And David Harrigan is so nice, I don't freak out. Well, I don't know how to take that.
With it coming from Steph, you never know.
It's like, come on, I have had moments where I have run into some people at a con. There was one time I remember a few years ago where somebody brought over a girl, and she's like, I just want to introduce her to you because she's too nervous to come talk to you by herself. And I was like, why are you nervous to talk to me? I'm just me. And I remember shaking her hand, and she was like kind of quivering a little bit. And I was like, oh. It's funny because I don't picture myself as anything other than just an artist. I just sit there and I draw, and if people like it, that's great. That's all I want. I want people to, get some enjoyment out of my art, and maybe a smile and some happiness. Maybe forget about their problems for a little while. I don't think about anything else other than that. I don't think about, getting rich or becoming famous or anything. And so whenever I have moments like that, it throws me for a loop because I'm not, I don't think of myself in any of those terms. And my family is the same way. They're like, why are you, why are people like inviting you to do this? Or why are people, it's just really weird. I'm like, oh, hey, they want to talk to me. That's cool.
Exactly. Now, what's the best piece of advice that you can give some new artists? Because I think we've still got a couple of new artists that are watching right now that would love to hear some advice from you on best way to break out into the company, what to do, not to do, that kind of thing.
Okay. Rule number 1, don't be an asshole. The comics industry is both large and small. It's large enough it's hard to get noticed, but it's small enough that word gets around. Don't be a dick to people. Don't be a dick to your fans. Don't be a dick to companies. Just don't. 2, be positive. And if you go to a convention and you give your portfolio to somebody and ask them to critique it, and they critique it, don't get defensive. I mean, people are sometimes the best advice is frank advice, and I've had that. I've been to conventions, and and when I was showing off my portfolio, and I've had people give me like really harsh critiques, and I know what it's like. I mean, you're like, oh, fuck this shit, I'm not going to do this again. For perfect example, my first San Diego Comic-Con was in 2010, and I went. I was like, I'm going to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to come out with all sorts of jobs and money, and I made all these portfolios, and I was going to give them to all the comic book companies, and I was going to get a job. It's going to be awesome. And I remember walking into that con and going up to tables, and they were just like, we don't give a shit about you right now. We don't have time to think about you right now. We don't have time to talk to you right now. I remember one company, I don't remember which one it was, but I was like, here's my portfolio. And they're like, gee, thanks. And they took it and they threw it in a box. And there was one artist there and it was so long ago, I don't remember who it was, who kind of just was like, oh, you got to fix this. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Dan Brereton was like the only one who actually gave me like positive advice. And he was like, you know what? He's like, this stuff's, I can see you getting a job. And I was like, hey, thanks, man. Can I get you to draw something for me? Try not to take critiques hard. Like I said, be polite, be kind to everybody. Don't have an ego. Oh God, please don't. If you start getting fans and work and everything, don't think that your shit doesn't smell. I always think that my work needs improvement, and I'm always constantly striving to improve my work. Sometimes it's a handicap because I'm like, I get a little hard on myself sometimes, but I would rather try and strive to be a better artist. Let's see. Okay, actual drawing tips. One tip that actually Brian Polito clued me in on, and I still use it to this day. So I did a cover real super early on with him, and I drew it out, and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, this is amazing, and I did all like the finished pencils, and it was all tight and clean and everything, and he was like, okay, good. He's like, do it again. And I was like, but it's done. He's like, do it again. And I was like, son of a bitch. But I did it again. I drew the whole thing over again, and it was better. And so all the covers I do, I draw them like 2 or 3 times, and before I finish, I land on the final one. And it's a lot of work sometimes, but I really find that has been an amazing tool. God, what else?
Now, Sebastian went ahead and put in here French speaking, and David, the first person, he felt good to talk with you about his bad English at Phoenix Con in 2016.
Sebastian is amazing. He's a wonderful Lady Death fan and a super nice guy. Sebastian, that package, somewhere it's on its way to you. I know it. I check your tracking. I don't know. Mailing right now is so weird. I shipped it like weeks ago, and he lives in Canada, and it's just like bouncing around the country right now. So I don't know what's going on. But Sebastian's great. I love him. He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of things with the mail right now about it just going all over the place, and yeah, it's fun. So the last thing I'm going to ask you is, what's in the future for the Art Assassin? What do you have? I mean, I'm not talking about projects. I'm talking about, how are you building yourself up? What are you looking at doing here?
Wow, man, you got some difficult questions. And that's actually a question I have been asking myself the last couple of years, is like, what do I do next? Where do I go from here? I've accomplished a lot that I never thought I would get a chance to do. I think one of those things is to actually, put out my own comic. I mean, really, if we're talking like, if I had one wish, what could it be career-wise and everything? I'd like to have my own animated series. The comic that I have in mind, I have it pictured as actually like an animated series in my head, but I don't have millions of dollars I don't know how to animate shit. So. But all in all, I mean, I really just want to keep creating good art. I want to keep creating art that people would like. I'm kind of branching out in some new areas. I like to challenge myself and do different things. I'm designing some more T-shirts in my Redbubble that I just put up a new one the other night, which I haven't announced yet, but you can go check it out. My catchphrase at the end of every show is I say I love my fans and love my watchers so much, and peace, love, and metal. So I have a T-shirt reflecting that in my, which is a design I really, really dig in my Redbubble right now. Yeah, I just want to keep making good art. I want to keep getting better. Ultimately, I want to do that one piece where I finish it, and I'm like, I'm done. I'm never going to top that. So far, I have not done that. Also, I would love, Brian, if you're watching, I would love to have like a statue or a Lady Death action figure or a statue based off of one of my drawings.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I Demon approved on that one. Yes.
I would love that. That's another bucket list thing, is to have somebody to do a piece of art so cool that somebody makes like a statue of it.
I completely agree and concur on that one. And yes, Brian, if you're watching now or later, yes, please. Absolutely.
Brian's super nice to me. Brian puts up with my shit all the time. So I keep sending him ideas, and he's like, okay, whatever, freak.
Well, I could keep you on here all night and everything. I know you got some stuff that you need to start working on with the Art Assassin Con and everything. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. I know I've had a couple of people message me while we were doing this, and they were asking, do you have things for sale? So I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. Yes, he does. And those links are on both Facebook and YouTube right up at the top. So on Facebook, if you go to the top and go ahead and click on See More, I have got all of his links on there that he sent to me, which, trust me, if you want to find anything of his, that's where you're going to go to get it. And on YouTube, you simply go to the bottom underneath the video, click See More, and you'll see all those links on there as well, and go shopping. But remember, save a little bit for the Art Assassin Con, because there are things on there that you're not going to see anymore.
Yep. That is faux show.
Well, I have had a blast having you on here, David, and look forward to having you on here again. And I will tell you this, that whenever you do get your comic done, because Steph's going to stay on you about that until it is, whenever you do get it done, if you will, please reach out to me and allow me to please do an online review for you of it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I would love that.
I am definitely going to get back into doing the online reviews, but I would love to do that for you.
Well, cool. Yeah, hey, if you want to do an online review of that,
I will definitely do that. Yes,
I'm all up for that too. So,
okay, absolutely. All right, well, I'll go ahead and let you go here for the evening, but thank you for being here, and I will be looking forward to having you back on, and keep us posted on what's going on with Art Assassin Con. Again, that is the 31st through the 7th, and do not miss out.
Great. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. Hi, bye, everybody. And I will also, before I go, I will leave it like I always leave it. Love you all. Take care of yourself. Peace, love, and metal. Good night, everybody.
All right. So we had Art Assassin on here, David Harrigan. We had a blast. We learned a lot of things he's got going on. Hey, it was a great show. So I always have a closing statement. Tonight is not going to be any different, even though it is my last night in this state doing this on here. So I never script it. I never write it down. I'm just going to go based off of what was here on the show. And whenever you've got something in front of you, you go ahead and make sure that you can attain your goal and make sure that you hit that. Do whatever you've got to go ahead and hit that. With David, he wants to do the comic book. Well, oddly enough, that's kind of where I am as well, as I actually want to go ahead and write my book as well in a comic form. So if you got something in front of you, push forward as much as you can to go ahead and hit that. So that's definitely something to think about on that. The last thing I'm going to leave with y'all is, again, this is my last broadcast from Jersey. I will be leaving and on the road Saturday morning, and I will be in Georgia by Sunday or Monday. It depends upon if I want to stay 1 or 2 days in the hotel, just to go ahead and make sure I don't go insane driving. So Unscripted will be taken care of on Saturday. That is not going to be off of there. My next show will be on Tuesday of next week. So I want to say thank you to everyone for all the fun time and everything I've had up here in Jersey, and everyone that I have met while I've been up here. So I am looking forward to seeing what the future holds with this, because Demon Phil's hell of a show is just getting started. So until then, keep it indie, y'all.